That's what it is.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Empowerment Reckless Podcast. Today we are bringing you episode 5. Today's episode is about what in the motherhood. I have my very best friend, Kendra V, joining us. I have known this beautiful woman for almost 10 plus years, and it is an honor to have her come on this show with my godson, Kingston. So, Kendra's a new mother. As you all know, we all are mothers, me, Toya, Dale, and Diamond. So we're just going to go ahead and, jump right in, get started, and give you guys some heat. So with that being said, I'd like to introduce Kendra. Kendra, just tell them a little bit about yourself, and we go from there. Hey, Kendra.
Hey, Kendra. Hey, ladies. Thank you for having me on the show. We appreciate it, me and Kingston. I'm a first-time mom. I'm 34. And this isn't new for me, but this is new for me. Like I've raised kids, not of my own, but I had my own godson, cousin's son, a couple of friends, kids I was around and I got used to. Hey, Saint. And it's new, but it's not new. I wouldn't trade it for anything. Nothing.
Nice.
I love it.
And this is my son, St. Charles.
He wants to be on the show today.
Right, because clearly he wanted to say what he needed to say. I'm also a first-time mom. But like Kendra, I've raised, my nieces and nephews and stuff like that. But it's different when it's yours.
Yes.
Because it's you can't give them back, and you just got to remember that you have a whole human being you gotta take care of. So
So that's the first time newbies, we kind of we don't have the milk behind our ear no more. I got a 14-year-old, Diamond, 8 and 10-year-old. So it's definitely has been very interesting, being a mother. So with that being said, Kendra,
yes.
And everybody else can follow up with that question. I know it can be hard transitioning into becoming a mother. What challenges would you say you have faced?
Well, from the beginning, I didn't expect to have a C-section. So when coming home, trying to take care of him and myself, it was very hard. It was something new, something I had with, but I had the help of my mom. That's the number one thing, is having help. And then a mother, my own mom helping was amazing. I'm not taking care of myself anymore. Right. Just myself. I could just get up. So I wouldn't have to worry about nothing but getting myself together.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be late on my own. Now right. I have myself, him, and still it's a lot.
Right.
But you kind of get used to it. And I'm getting used to it.
Right. How long were you in labor with them?
In labor?
Yeah.
Well, actually, my water broke, but I never dilated. So I would say I went to the hospital. It was like 7 a.m, and I had him at 12:19. But it was kind of nerve-wracking because, like I said, my water broke, but I never dilated. But the contractions were real, and I got
right.
Did you have an epidural?
Yeah, I did.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely did. It was up in the air if I wanted it or not, but I did it, and it didn't bother me. Sitting there, just trying not to move, and it didn't. You know how you hear difference?
Yeah.
And this and that, but It was fine.
It hasn't bothered for now, but when those back pains start giving out, when he's about 14, look, listen, that epidural, you know, I got the epidural too, and I was just telling myself like I didn't want to do it, but that pain, you don't have no choice.
I was going to do it. I was ready for it. Like I like no type of pain, and so I had to get induced. So I went. So they, you know, did whatever they did to have induced. So then my stomach started hurting. So I'm like, what is this? So I called the nurse, like, ma'am, my stomach is hurting so bad, and I don't know what's going on. She was like, ma'am, those are your contractions. I said, well, y'all need to come and fix this, baby, because I cannot do this. And then they gave it to me, and after that, I ain't feel nothing. I was ready to go.
Yeah.
Well, kudos to y'all because I didn't get it either time.
Both times.
Neither time I got it. I was just like, no. Because I just heard the bad stories about it, and I was just like, I'd rather not.
Oh no.
And if I get pregnant again, I won't get it again. So.
Oh no.
Oh, no. Mm-hmm.
Back pain.
Oh, well, salute to you, soldier. You know, salute to you. I mean, because I know that epidural is, you have to get it. Like, well, yeah, I'm not gonna say you really have to.
You don't have to get it.
It's just that pain, you know, everybody's tolerance is different, you know, so, you know, that's just how I look at it. I don't like pain, you know, but.
So not that type of baby. I was ready.
Yeah.
It's just like bad cramps. That's all it
No, it's just not. I was like, I called the nurse. I was like, ma'am, this is my first time having a baby. So what is this pain going down on in my stomach? She was like, ma'am, that's the contractions. I said, well, y'all need to fix this. And she was like, well, the people for the epidural won't be in until we'll do something because I can't work with this right now. But after they gave it to me, that was fine. But I had to get a C-section because every time I would have a contraction, Saint's heart rate would drop. So they couldn't find which way he was at. So they had to give me an emergency C-section or I would have pushed him out.
I didn't even know you had a
C-section. I didn't even know you had a C-section.
I didn't even know you had a C-section.
I thought you had vaginal.
Right.
Y'all didn't
know? No. First time.
What?
Yes.
We did not know that.
I did not know that. I thought that you did that vaginal. Yeah, I didn't know you had a C-section.
That's why I'm sitting here like, what?
I wanted to experience that, but yeah, that's C-section. But it was, once he was out, it was like, oh, what a relief.
Right.
It was the C-section was kind of scary, because you know you hear all the stories about C-sections, and then my hands were trembling so bad, and the only thing I felt was like, I guess the pressure of them pushing him down out of my stomach, but anything else I didn't feel. I didn't even know what was going on.
Didn't feel anything either, except for that little bit of movement and
yeah.
But
my baby daddy was like, your guts is all open. You can see my whole stomach open. And Saint, did Kingston cry when he came out?
When he cried, I cried.
When so sweet.
It was just like, oh. First was like, you know, that weight on your stomach, and then once they brought him out and I heard that cry, I started crying.
Oh God.
Oh, that's so sweet.
What, did he cry right away?
Yeah. Well,
Saint didn't.
A couple of seconds. Yeah, probably right.
Saint didn't, and I'm like, where's the baby? Is he out yet? Like, why he not crying?
Yeah, he cried that little cry. They gave him, you know, the little shot, another shot. He cried on the second shot, but the first one, he took it like a little cheek. My little boy.
I like to hear these stories.
So emotional.
Right.
I'm gonna lay him down.
Take me back 14 years. Take me back.
Well, you can look at a video, can't you?
You said what?
You can look at a video, can't you?
Yeah, that was, I actually had mine's recorded. I did everything. I think it was like through Walgreens, but I don't even know if they offer it anymore, but yeah. I don't look at that video. No, I don't. I don't go back and look at that video. Heck, you know, that video is probably it's always around the house. Everybody can come in and see everything. They go up there on it. They can see everything. Yeah. So do you believe that you can spoil a baby?
You hear it a lot, but I don't think so.
Why not?
Need it at such a young age, because you're gonna lose that when they get older. A lot of people with kids, when they get older, they still want that love that they had when they was little.
Mm-hmm.
But you also want your child to be independent. So, but I don't know. I don't, it's like a 50-50 thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think a child can be spoiled. I think a child can be spoiled.
But what does okay, so what does spoiled actually mean? Because it's like when they're young, it's just giving love. It's my first child, so I'm gonna be up under him. I'm gonna snuggle him. I'm gonna kiss him. You know, I'm gonna hold on to him. So is that
think it's like,
is that spoiled, or you know?
I think it's like more so. My definition of spoiled is letting the child get away with everything, you know, overloading far as love and things like that.
How can you overload on love to a child?
Well, I don't think that you can with the baby. I don't feel like you can. I feel like because that's all they known for the last 9 months, you know, so it's like, I don't really think you can with the baby. Now, when they get older, like maybe 1 or 2, yeah, you know, it's a little bit of, they know, those kids know when they get age 1 and 2 or what they're doing. But when they're a baby, I don't really think there's like a such thing as really spoiling the baby. Like, you know how parents say, oh my gosh, don't hold him so much.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Put him down. You know, you're gonna spoil him. And you're just like, well, I'm not spoiling him. He just wants to feel that comfort. He's been in me for 9 months. That's all he needs. So I gotta kind of get him unwired.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But I think all new mothers are like that, especially with their first child, that you can't stop holding them. You can't stop looking at them. You can't stop touching them. It's just like, you just really sit there and just be thinking like, oh my God, I created this beautiful thing, like human being. Like, oh my God.
But so see, I was like, taught different. Like I was always told not to hold the baby. Like, so Mari was held, but not, it's just like, don't hold him so much. He's gonna get spoiled. And I'm like, oh.
Well, I feel like they say that with a parent that breastfeed as well, because I breastfed my second child, and she's very like needy. You know what I mean? But now she's grown out of it. She's not really spoiled anymore. But they say that about moms that breastfeed as well.
Kendra, did you attempt to breastfeed?
I did the first 2 weeks in the hospital and then got home. But like I said, I was not prepared for a C-section, so my body just couldn't handle that at the moment. When I got home, and then I don't think he liked it no more either. So breastfeeding, I wanted that connection, but he didn't like it, and I couldn't take it physically because I was dealing with, you know, a change from giving birth, having a C-section, and my body just, you know, not what I wanted to do.
Right. Toya?
But if I go back in time, I think I would have tried harder.
To do the breastfeeding?
Do the breastfeeding.
So what was some mechanisms? You can still answer your question, Toya, but what were some mechanisms that they told you guys to do as far as like breastfeeding? Like what will work? Because I know a lot of women sometimes it's challenging for women to breastfeed. So what are some mechanisms that they told you guys to try?
Skin to skin.
Yeah.
That's
like,
pretty much
put the baby on top, like she said, skin to skin, and then, you know, once the baby is awake, you know, try to hold the baby closer to your nipple so they can smell it, and then they'll automatically gravitate towards, and then they'll start, you know, drinking from it. But you got to do it consistent. I mean, they won't always latch on, but you have to do it consistently to get them acclimated with it. And then once they start sucking consistently, then your milk will start to produce. But if you don't do it consistently, then your breast is just going to dry up, and then it's not going to be anything, and the baby's going to starve. Then you'll have to switch the formula, because it is hard to start over reproducing that breast milk. But some moms, they do both. They bottle feed and then they do breastfeed as well. I think breastfeeding is kind of hard when you first start, because it's like you gotta whip your nipple out every 30 minutes, because it's like, a newborn, they drink consistently back to back. And then once they get a little older, it's like they don't drink so much. It's like your breasts are like, one time my breast got like to a size double D, and I was like, oh my God. And when they got so big, like it started causing me back problems. So I stopped doing it, and then I just let the milk dry up. But it was crazy.
I tried after I think the day after I had him, they brought him to me. I tried it. I don't know what it was. He wasn't latching on, and so then the breast feeding nurse lady came in there and showed me, you could do it to the side, have him skin to skin, because this baby loves to sleep skin to skin, I tell you. And but it just wasn't working. I came home and tried. Got the breast pump, to even try to, help with that, but it just wasn't working. So we just switched to formula. So I don't know if it was me or him or both, but I didn't really let it. I was kind of bummed about it, but I really didn't let it get me too bummed about it to where it, I was like emotional and stuff. So.
Right. Yeah. Well, mine was definitely me, because I wasn't breastfeeding. Definitely wasn't breastfeeding. So it was definitely me. I used to always be like, isn't this some type of indecent exposure? When I see women just swapping out, and I'm like, what? You're just breastfeeding like anywhere. I'm just like, oh, and that was just being a first time mom, not really like understanding. Before I even had a kid, I'm like, why is this lady out here sitting on a bench breastfeeding? Like, it just didn't sit right with me. But now, like with having a kid, I'm just like, oh, okay, all of it.
When they're hungry, they're hungry.
Exactly. So I'm like, okay, everything makes sense. Definitely.
Yeah, but it's definitely beneficial, because it definitely helps with their teeth, their speech, like all those type of things
in your body.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
I tried my first.
Go ahead.
I said I tried with my first daughter, but she didn't like.
She didn't latch.
Kendra and Toya said yes, she didn't latch at all. I guess it's all about the baby as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, what was your thoughts when you found out you was pregnant, Kendra?
I had to take 6 pregnancy tests to be mad. I'm on the toilet and I'm looking at the test. I'm like, this can't be right. Let's get another one. Let's get another one. It was unreal. I'm like, I got to the point where I was okay, being the aunt, being just the godmom, PT, just that. Having a cat, about to get a dog.
Honey.
I have to plan a whole future for a whole human being of mine.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still a shock every day when I look at him and hold him. Like, I can't return this.
Right.
Okay.
So can't put them back.
No return.
So did you experience any postpartum?
I think I did for like a day or two. But I usually know how to deal with mental thoughts that go, that you have. I think it was more of the fact doing this on my own, thinking like, this is gonna be me and him with help, with support, but just, me and him type of thing. But I wouldn't trade it up. I'm proud. Proud of it.
Did any of you other ladies experience?
I did. It was very difficult. Like Kendra said, nobody ever wants to be like, oh, I got to do this by myself. Even though you have support, I have a whole support system village that is very, helpful, and I'm grateful and thankful for that. But it's just, it gets hard when the other person that you made a child with doesn't, step in, doesn't help, seems like they don't care. That could be a toll on you because you're doing everything.
24/7.
Yeah, 24/7. I am grateful and lucky that Saint slept really good through the night. And he still does now. So I wasn't always tired, because you know how they say new moms, they don't get no sleep. Well, thankful this one let me get sleep. But it was just hard. Your hormones be all over the place. Don't know why you're crying. You can't figure it out. And some days you just don't even want to. There was days I didn't want to get out of bed, but I'm like, okay, I got to get up because I got to do this. If I don't eat, I got to make sure, Saint eats, because I could go all day without eating if I choose to. But now I'm like, dang, I got to make sure this kid eat, because, he going to let me know when he hungry. So yeah, I'm a little better. Some days are better than others. I don't think I have it as much as I did when he was first born, but there are still some days where I just cry out of nowhere, or I just feel like super stressed because it's like, dang, this is mine. I got to take care of him every day. Because I've been like, I got pregnant at 35, 34, turning 35, something like that. So like you said, Kendra, I was okay with not having no kids. I was content by then. Like, I had a discussion with God. I said, okay, well, hey, this is what it is. I ain't gonna have no kids. So I was literally fine with not having kids. And then boom. And then me being older, the doctor was like, it's more of a risk. I had to be on pelvic watch for like 6 months and stuff like that. So, it's a lot having a kid when you're older too. Your body is not as young as it used to be. So yeah.
Ashley?
I got a question, because I thought about this yesterday when I was in the store. What is one thing, well, Kendra, since you're a new mom, what is one thing you miss about not having a kid?
Like I said, getting up and just going. Like, I get and I could just go. But and hanging out. I can hang out, but you don't, when they are newborn, you don't want to take them
Everywhere.
Right.
around. Patty.
Yeah.
But yesterday was the first time I went out in a while. In a long while. Got to eat and a small drink. So yeah, that
I think mine would be not having to get anybody out of the back of the car every time I get out of the car. I went to walk and it's like, dang, I gotta get Zane out the car. I forgot.
That's because you have a coop, of course. That's a self issue, not a baby issue.
Even with the other Honda I have, it's always, you have to get your kid out of the back seat. You know how many times that I got groceries and got your groceries and forgot to get out of the back seat? Like, it's like, oh, I have a whole kid in the back seat. I gotta get somebody out the back of the car.
I know when he get older, let's go. We on the go.
That's how it is now. He walking. He be ready to go. Bye. He be at the door. So, you know, it's rewarding. It's fun.
Yeah, motherhood, parenthood is definitely rewarding, you know. And that was going to be my question that I was going to ask is like, you know, for, you know, I really don't know how to ask it. I know how to ask the question, but it's more so like, you know, like God really has chosen you to be a mother, you know, and it's just like, I don't know if anybody else thinks like that. I used to think like, okay, why me? Was I doing something in my days that I wasn't supposed to be doing? Like, if he wants to slow me down, or what's the reasoning, you know? And then when you really look back at sometimes your life, you see like, okay, this is probably why. I had a lot of stuff going on and he wanted to sit me back before something really got crazy going. You know, that was just my feel on that.
I said that. I felt like I was going back to my old ways, partying a lot. Cause I was like, oh, okay, my bills paid. I ain't got no kids. So I started to go back, you know, to drinking more and doing all of that. So I really think that's when he was like, boop, nope, you're pregnant. Sit your butt down because you're not about to start that again. No, I really do. Cause that's when it happened. Dead in the middle of me getting my groove back on.
Toya got her groove back.
Mine is kind of opposite. I was like, why with my own child yet?
Mm-hmm.
I think when I was a little younger, my mind was thinking that like, why, you know, is that I can't have kids? I don't deserve it. What, you know, it's something me. I was never told by a doctor, you know, you can't have kids. Mm-hmm. This reason or that reason. I really think it is God's way of showing you that you're deserving of this. Here's your little blessing. Mm-hmm. So when it finally happened, I started to think back on that. You know, I used to think, why not me? And now, wow.
Right.
Calm down. Mm-hmm. And like Toya said, not the partying part because of the pandemic, mm-hmm. but I got in my old ways of doing things. And yeah, God interrupted that and said, "Hey, you got a little person now. It's not just."
So we were still in the pandemic. So was it different in the hospital for you to have a baby in the pandemic?
I really wouldn't know how it was without, but always a mask, wash your hands, not too many visitors.
Right.
It was a few. That's about it. And my mom was gonna be there in the room with me. Mm-hmm. If it was gonna be in their delivery or the C-section room there. So
yeah, we could only have two people. My mom came with me in the beginning while I was induced and whatnot, and then Saint's dad came and stayed the rest. But every time the nurses and stuff came in, they had to wash their hands, they had to have a mask. I had to take a COVID test before to do that, because I remember they said if I was positive, then I forgot what they said. I had to stay in the hospital longer or something like that. But yeah, I think it was just lonely because you couldn't have too many guests, and my mom wanted to stay, so.
Yeah, I know that was definitely challenging. Mm-hmm. Especially you got to figure out who you want to have in the room, and especially if you got so many people that you love and that care about you, you really got to decipher, because of course, mom, dad, that's automatically, but then you got mm-hmm. the grandparents, the mother, you got the auntie, the cousin, everybody want to be in there. So it's like, who do I pick?
Right.
Come in here with me.
And then it wasn't like if one leaves, another one could come in. If whoever left, and that was it.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what? So you know how they say, what's this? I'm trying to, I'm not old, you guys, but I'm a little bit up there. They say, the starter pack. So what is Kingston top 5 starter pack that you have to have for him every single night? Top 5 that every single night. Like if he doesn't have this, it's probably like it could be the lotion. Just what's his top 5?
Me.
Oh, you right.
And he got used to being on my shoulder, and that's like his calming. He calms when he's on my shoulder. I noticed he like baths. He loves taking a bath before bed, which I don't do. You can't do every night, as we know, but he do enjoy getting that bath, getting wiped down. His binky. He got. That's just about it. And a diaper, and he like his hair being brushed.
Hair being brushed. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
And that's about it.
Kingston over there living royalty life. I need my hair over there living royalty life. Right.
I'm still learning though his likes and dislikes.
Right. Toya.
All Saint need is that pacifier and that pacifier. That's it. That's all. Like he really don't need too much. We take a bath at night. We do the lavender so it can calm him down. But if he ain't got that pacifier, child, it's World War III up in this house, and we not having that. His pacifier and his cup. Those are the two. He do have his certain toys that he play with every day. Like he got a whole bunch of toys, but it's mainly like his truck my auntie got for him, and a teddy bear and something else. But that's about it. He's really not too picky.
Yeah. I don't really think I had a starter pack. Like I just was like, it was no, he actually Mario was a good baby. He didn't cry at night or anything, like nothing. No crying at night, no getting up in the middle of the night. He probably got up like 6 a.m. was his time. 6 a.m. was his time, but I ain't really had no issues out of Mario. But now, no, just kidding.
Do you have a routine yet? Does Kingston have a routine yet, Kendra, for like sleeping and napping?
Not more than he sleep at night. But if I get it right, him and 6, and then sleeps to like 10 o'clock. I be having to like, come on, let me
Right.
a little bit.
But they say you're not supposed to wake him up. You're not supposed to interrupt their sleep pattern.
Well, yeah. But I be talk in the morning. Let's get up. Sometimes I do let him stay asleep. Cause he enjoy it. Like he's napping now.
Right.
Third nap.
Third wake nap up for the day.
Yeah, bottle and be okay.
Yeah. He knew Godmama was running the podcast today, so he was like, let me just go ahead and lay low.
Same sleep pattern. He wakes up like in the mornings if we got to go to work and daycare. I get him up about 7. And he has a morning nap like 10 or 11, and then another afternoon nap like 4 or 5. And he do that. That's every day. He even do it like on our days off too. So he got his own little schedule packed down. We usually try to go to bed between 8 and 10, depending on what time I'll get home from work and if I gotta cook dinner or things like that. But for him, it's no later than 10 that I put him to sleep. And he'll wake up on his own, like on the weekends. I'll let him sleep and he'll wake up on his own. Which is still usually about 8. He gets to tossing and turning.
So when do you have time? When do you have time for me time?
Thursday, Fridays when my mom comes. You gotta fit it in where you can. that's what I'm learning for me and him. While he was napping earlier, you know, I got myself together. He was on FaceTime with my mom. And right when I got out the shower, that's when he, you know, he was a little fussy. Like, all right, pick me up.
Mm-hmm.
When my mom comes, you know, I set him up. If it's something that I really need to do where I can't actually hold him, I put him in his bassinet. Like even if just going to the bathroom, he just have to sit in there, get him situated where he's not crying.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, handle my business real quick and get back to him, make sure he's okay. But I'm still on maternity leave, so I got a lot of free time. I'm, you know, it's not work and coming taking care of him. So yeah.
Well, wait till he start walking, girl, because you can't use the bathroom by yourself at all. Like, I go use the bathroom, here comes Saint. I'm like, and then he wants to be picked up while I'm on the toilet. Like, what do you want? Like, it's like, leave me alone. and like, you know, he's okay for a little bit. But then he'll just get annoyed, like, probably, where's my mom? And I need to be picked up for like 2 seconds. He does it a lot when I make a dinner or breakfast. He'll play with his toys. He'll sit in the kitchen with me. But then it's like, hey, pick me up for like 2 seconds, please. I pick him up, put him back down, and start to finish cooking or cleaning or whatever I'm doing. But actual me time, alone time, I just gotta, you know, fit it in, or whenever somebody can watch him for me. I don't go out too much anymore. Even when I do, I'll be ready to get home so I can come to him. But because I'll be bored by then. Like, okay, you guys see my face. I'm ready to go home. And they always say you're supposed to try to get done what you need done while they're asleep. Because I'll be asleep right with him. We both take a nap because I'm tired.
That's too.
Right. But when he's up, it usually works for me to get the things done because he plays with his toys and stuff. He'll follow me around. But when he go down for a nap, I try to go down for a nap too because I'll be tired right along with him.
If you guys had a 25-hour day instead of 24 hours, what would you all do with just that 1 hour? For like me, this is just my time. Like, what would you do for that 1 hour?
Lay on the couch.
Soak my feet.
Yeah, probably take a nap or something.
Yes, listen. Going to work.
Or just sit and watch TV.
Yeah, going to work every day, picking him up, coming home, making dinner, make sure he eat, take a bath. Like, I'd be exhausted, so exhausted. And then, you know, he want to play. I got to play with him. It's just, I'd be like, oh my gosh, just, you know. So if I had an extra hour, I would do absolutely nothing but lay on the couch and just relax.
Yeah, that used to be my time. Like, I would sit here on the couch, watch TV, and be okay. I didn't have to get out because I, you know, at a point, like I said, with the pandemic, that stopped all of that. So I got you cutting on the TV, kicking my feet up. But my 1 hour would be sitting here soaking my feet, sipping some wine.
Yeah, motherhood is definitely is challenging because it's just like that in itself is a job. Plus working on top of a job, you're working 2 jobs because you can't you can turn on and off a job and say I want to quit, but you can't quit as a mother. So it's like it gets hard. You know, I don't care if you got babies, teenagers, parenting can get hard, and it can become very overwhelming and challenging, you know, because in this situation, you have to stay strong. It's not no gray areas where no, I can't stay strong. You have to, because your kids are dependent on you, you know. So you're gonna do what you need to do, you know, as a parent. And that kind of drives me to, you know, like our next question. And, you know, have you ever asked yourself, am I failing as a mother?
Absolutely. I would say that for me. And I would say that, which happened about 2 years ago, because I don't want to get emotional, but
like, can I turn my camera off? Because I don't like emotional. Like, I'm like, no, go ahead. This is motherhood, so it's raw. Like, go ahead.
Not thinking about them and putting myself in a bad situation to where I had to send my kids off for 2 years to stay with their dad. So I felt like as a mom, I did fail them because they've been with me since the time they were born till about 2 to 3 years, 3 years ago. And now that my daughter is 11, I feel like it's taking a toll on her because she's like, Mommy, I want to be with you. I want to be with you. You know, when you're going to come get me, And I'm like, well, Mommy is just trying to make sure that she's okay, so I will never have to send you off again. So that's where I feel like I failed as a parent. So that would be it for me.
I don't think I yeah, I sometimes when I think about who the Lord sent as his father, I feel like I failed as a parent because it's like, why didn't I think smarter? Or, why did I'm not going to necessarily say I chose him because I did not choose him like that. But I think when it comes to that, or some days when it's like, before I got the job I have now, I was struggling to pay his daycare or something like that. And you just think like, why am I, dang, I'm struggling. I can't get this, what I need for my kid. You got to do better. So you just being hard on yourself because it's like, now you're a mom, you have to do better. You have to step it up because, you shouldn't be struggling anything for when it comes to your kid, but it's hard. So, so that would probably be what I think I failed at him sometimes, but I just managed to, keep it together, keep it pushing. And people are scared to ask for help, but I'm always going to ask for help because if I need help, I'm going, I need it. But 9 times out of 10, I'm going to get it done for when it comes to him, but I always say, if you need help, ask for it because there's somebody that's going to be out there to help you.
Accept that help.
Listen, because it's hard trying to do it by yourself. I know some people pride be in the way or, they just don't want nobody talking about them or running their business back to them, especially, oh, she's a mom. She can't do this. It's a lot of people are not good, for you or when you tell them your business, but you just, if that help comes, take it, please, because clearly it was sent to you for a reason.
All right.
It's only been like Toya said that his father. I'm blessed to have who I have for Kingston, but it's more when I was younger, 27, 28, those was my plans to be with a person I'm married to and kids together. Because, I grew up without my dad and I didn't want that. I didn't ever want that. If I was to have kids, I didn't want that. But that's the only downfall for me. I say, even though it wasn't my plans, it was God's plan because I was not planning to have a child. But if I go back in time, which I kind of wouldn't, because he's my little blessing, but that's what I wanted for my child, his parents to be together.
And I think that's one of the main reasons I waited so long to have kids, because I wasn't, I always said, hey, I want to have a, 2-parent household for my child. My dad wasn't there, but I had my stepdad, but eventually my stepdad, left us too. And I've always wanted my kids, my, child to have a father, and so that was one of the reasons why I waited so long to have a kid. And then that was another thing that made me really depressed, is because it's just like, dang.
Yeah.
Like his dad is here, but you would think his dad lived 1,000 miles away. How he acts and whatnot. So that is one of the things that I feel like I failed at, and one of the things that had me super depressed.
Those are really interesting stories. I wasn't trying to bring kind of out the emotional side of things, but I wanted to know, because at some point of time we all have had that where we're just like, I feel like I have failed as a mother. And mine could be either, maybe not giving my son time, just little different things. It may, not be into the magnitude of things that you guys have said, but it's still, like I said, just that ounce of feeling like you failed. No one wants to have to go through that. And like you said, you guys said about having the other parent in the household. I do agree, but again, I also think it still works. Either they're there or they're not.
Yeah.
You still got to be strong enough to pick up yourself every single day and do what you have to do. A lot of parents, it doesn't matter, female or male, have sometimes in the mindset like, I'm doing what I'm doing by paying child support, but in theory, I'll take the time before I take the child support.
Right.
And that's really, and I'm speaking really kind of on my situation. Yeah, my father does pay child support. However, it's the time. Like, I'm in a different state, he's in a different state. So it's like, okay, the child support is totally fine. But as kids get older, they do still want that time, especially with their other parent. So I'll take that, take that any day. So, I totally understand. But the fact that all of us are able to get up and do what we need to do every day is a blessing. I don't even want to, a lot of times people say, you guys are strong, or you guys are strong Black women. I don't like the word strong, because ultimately people don't understand, you have no choice but to be strong. That's not a privilege. Right. That's not something where you're like, oh, that's great, I'm strong. I have no choice but to be that way. Right. You have to do what you have to do for your kids, because nobody else is going to do it. Right. Is nobody else is going to do it. So, I definitely, all mothers, like, keep your head up, keep doing exactly what you're doing. It can get hard. And like Latoya said, don't be ashamed. If you need to get on government assistance, don't let nobody tell you about your life and what you should get, what you shouldn't get. That's your life, because I tell you what, if they had to do it, because people don't realize your life can change from 100% to 0% at any given time. And that's what people got to realize every single day. Like, you may be up one day and the next day you're down. So you're never too good. I don't care what my salary is. Listen, if I need to get back on food stamps, any government assistance, I'm going to do it. And I'm not going to be no shame in my game of doing it. So definitely, the help is out here, because I mean, I have talked to other parents and just see other parents, like, it's so many stories on the news from all these kids getting killed, babies. You putting babies in microwaves, letting these kids being molested. Like, you have a spouse that is coming around the house you dealing with, and they molesting your child. Like, all these different things are just going on. It's just like, when I see some of the mothers, I don't necessarily look at and say I blame them, because I don't know where their mindset is at, because I understand that mothering can get challenging, but I just can't wrap my head on how you can allow a person to do that to your child. This is your flesh and blood, yours. Like, I don't get it. So, I just, you guys are doing An excellent job. All three of you. All, you know, you guys are doing great. Keep doing what you're doing. You know, like I said, ever get hard, reach out. I don't care. You reach out to me, reach out, you know, because nothing is ever worth taking a child life out of here because you can't handle it. Hand that baby over to a family member. You know, you because I get it. You know, you do need that time to yourself. And like, you know, we don't get as much time to ourselves as a parent. I do feel like you should take that time out to yourself. Maybe even if it's an hour, 2 hours, go get your feet. You still need that time because as a parent, you should. So, yeah, it was great. That was a great question. Great question.
So are you planning on doing daycare, Kendra?
No. Not no time soon. The only person he is going to be, if I do go back to work, he's going to be with my brother. I've been applying for at-home jobs. Nothing, I've been accepted to anything yet. So if I had a choice, I wouldn't go back at all. Without a job, but I have to get a job go back to my old job. But if he's months older, he would definitely be in daycare. But right now, with him only being 1 month, still newborn, I'm gonna be here with him until then.
Right.
Well, you know, you can always say, "Come get him," and we'll come driving it out. 10 hours, 12 hours.
Right.
If you need a break,
you can be halfway.
Kendra ain't coming off Kingston right now. No. You gotta give about 6 months, maybe a year. Then she'll be ready. Then she'll be ready. Maybe a year. Then she'll be probably really ready.
Well,
yeah.
Because his daycare is expensive as heck.
That too.
It's like gouging prices. I think same was 3 months when I went back to work. I hated it. I wanted to like have the day hurry up and end so I could go home. And then it's like to me they're still too young to go to daycare because anything can happen and they can't say nothing.
Right.
And that is one of the things that I just be just scatterbrained about, because if anything happens to him, he can't say nothing. So every day I at least try to, you know, remind myself to check his body to see if he got any scratches, bruises, you know, see if anything hurts. But yeah, if I didn't have to go to work, I will be here with him. Well, calm down. He acting up now because he lost his pacifier. He can't find it. I guess he had enough playtime without his pacifier. Because I'm trying to take him off of it, so I'll take it away while he's playing and his mind is occupied. But clearly now he figures he don't got it in his mouth, so he getting a little antsy. He lost it.
So being that all of you ladies have young men, and I'm the only one out of the bunch that has little girls, what do you think is the difference between raising young men and young ladies?
I'll start.
Okay.
Definitely with boys, you know, I always wanted a boy. I didn't want a girl. I don't know. It was maybe, I'm gonna say it's probably because of the things that I was doing when I was a girl. Like, I'm like, no, I don't want a little girl because of the things I was doing. So I'm just like, you know, I'm okay, you know, shoot, my son, that's like my homeboy. We can talk, you know, so it was a lot different. So I just felt like like I said, with little girls, it was just, I felt some of them would be a lot faster. And, you know, it's something about like the girls in that sweet spot. The boys have a sweet spot too, but the girls is just, I don't know. Like I can see, like I can let my son date. I have a problem with him dating, but not like that. But I'm okay with it. But if it was a little girl, I'll be biased, to be honest. I'll just
Why?
like,
because do you feel like, here's my thought when it comes to like, okay, girls are fast or whatever, but it's always embedded in head that girls are faster. But there's little boys out here slinging they ding-a-ling everywhere, and don't nobody even think to, oh, boys won't be out here slaying. I know friends, I was having sex at 12. I was having sex at 11.
Yeah.
Just like girls would be too. They ain't having sex by themselves. So if your daughter out here 12 having sex with 3 to 4 or 5 guys, why them guys ain't fast? Because clearly he having sex too.
And that is very true. It's more so of the mental standpoint and the way people think now, that everybody has that mindset that girls are fast, right? And that's how my mindset used to be. And even with now, I'm not kind of like, oh, girls are fast. I feel like the boys and the girls are both fast. That's how we was raised, is like, oh, guys, they're gonna be treated on a different caliber. We already know the guys can have sex with a female every single night, and it's totally okay. But if I go and have sex with a male every single night, I'm going to be treated differently. I'm going to be called a hoe. I'm going to be called a philanderist. I'm going to be called every single thing out here that you possibly think of. It's just the way that society is set up. It's sad to say, I don't feel like, if a woman, she wants to go do her thing with several other guys, then that's what she wants to do. And if the guy wants to do that, the same thing, but it's just the way how really things are really set up.
That's
like
a great
it's
topic
just the way things are really set up.
For us next, double standards.
You said what?
I said that's a great topic for us next, the double standard.
Yeah, so that's why I'm trying to kind of still stay on topic with stuff, because we could bring the heat. We could bring it. But I don't get why
a lot of people make it seem like girls are harder to raise, when in reality I just feel like it's about you and the parent, you and your child. My mom has 3 girls, and I don't. The only person I can say who probably gave my mom a hard time is my older sister, but that was just their relationship. But I think it's the way society has made it seem like girls are just so hard to raise. They just they want to be grown. But boys don't
girls just mimic. Girls mimic what they see.
Do. Yes.
Guys, boys
mimic.
Boys are like more so curious. They're curious. They don't do what their mother or something, because that's not what they can mimic. A girl will, but a boy is more so curious. Like, let me figure this out on my own. Let me see if I should do this. But the girls pay attention to exactly what their mother is doing, and they mimic exactly what they're doing. So that's why it becomes an issue that a lot of parents don't see. Is like, if you out here, I'm not saying that you can't, if you feel like you want to dress a certain way, but just understand, when you have a little girl, she decides she want to dress that way, she wants to twerk, she wants to do all these different things, just understand that you got to look at yourself, because she's seeing you do these things.
In the house.
But they can pick on that on social media as well.
That's true too. Yeah, absolutely, I agree. But also, as a parent, it's your duty to make sure that you are monitoring what these kids are doing. I'm not saying that these kids can't slip away and be like, okay, I'm gonna go sneak on my friend's phone or sneak in school. They can't.
We used to do that.
What I'm saying is, making sure our parents are monitoring. We know parents that do not monitor their 14, 13-year-olds that's out here. Like, it's no reason why my daughter has a crop top on at the age of 12. That's ridiculous.
No.
So certain things. So I that's why I say, when it comes to the boys and things like that, it's, for me, it's a lot different. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can have this conversation. Like, truth of the matter, we already know a girl can go straight down to the principal office and say, my son said something provocative, and guess what's gonna happen? The whole world, the school, the principal, the police, everybody's gonna be there. But if he say, this little girl said that she wanted to give me some head, they're gonna say, just go back to class. I guarantee it's different. It's just different. It's just completely different. So it's like, that's my input on that. Like, with boys and girls, I don't have anything biased against any gender. I just feel like that's just how things are with boys. It's, I don't know, like my son Mark, that's my right hand. Like, I can talk to him about everything. We talk amongst each other. It could be about sex, about business. We talk about everything, you know, just having that candid conversation with him, you know, it's, I don't know, it's just different. It's just different.
Yeah.
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 See? Yeah. He said, yeah. Yeah.
They rough as heck. Boys is rough because he loves to beat me up.
Yep. And that's another thing. She needs to nip in the butt. She does say she needs to nip in the butt. Why is he slapping you around at the age of 1.5? Why is he slapping you around at 1.5? Like, no, he knows what he's doing. He's fully aware of what he's doing.
Yeah, I think it's more so the cycle, you know, the young girls coming on their cycle. And
I feel like a lot of
and
women
like
say,
Toya said, her mom has 3 girls. She said, you know, it's just me and my sister. And then, you know, I have 2 girls. I did want a boy, but you know, God didn't bless me with one.
Yeah.
So what was I about to say to Ashley?
and also it could be the stigma because girls are fast or hard to raise, because some women low key be jealous of their daughters.
That's true too.
So, you know, it's just a whole bunch of things that could go into why people always say girls are just so much harder to raise than boys, but I don't think so.
Well, I do believe that because I have seen some traits in my daughters that they may have done, and I'll check them real quick, like, you know, I don't know who you have been around or things like that, but I don't tolerate that, you know what I mean? Because girls, I feel like girls, they do have that nasty attitude, like they do, but I feel like boys have an attitude as well, but it's just something about those girls, like you be wanting to knock their freaking head off. So
that would be like, why are boys, mama boys, can't leave up out of the nest?
Because of the way that parents really, like, you know, the way that parents raise them, they always they don't allow their child to either, and this is with both, they don't allow their child to actually grow and find themselves, because, and I'll use that for example, my son, he is completely like, I have to tell, like, hey man, go do this, go do that. But it's really my fault because I've done so much of those things with, as you know, before he even got to his teen stage, is that he doesn't even know, like, now he's in the rhythm of like, hey, I can wash clothes, I can wash the dishes. He's in the rhythm now, you know, and I constantly have to coach him, like, consistently, like, man, do this, do that. But it's really my fault because I didn't allow him to do those things when he was like at that age. Like, you know how you have parents, like when they're young, you have them like asking to help out, like, can you help out here? Can you do these things? You know, all these different discussions. Like, it's not nothing wrong. We all know that freaking crazy discussion that was on like Instagram, is your son cooking in the kitchen? Yeah, I don't mind my son cooking in the kitchen. I think that's absolutely great. If he wants to cook, go ahead. I don't feel like it should be like oh, well, because he's a guy, he shouldn't have to cook. The woman should always cook. No, my son is going to cook. But I will say a lot of traits that he had coming up was because of me, you know, me enabling him, doing everything for him, not really teaching him these things, like, hey, when you take your clothes off, they go in this basket, you got to wash your clothes every week. No, what did I do as mommy? Go and wash his clothes for him, fold his clothes for him, all these different things. I mean, it's just, I think it's a nature of being a mother. You know, you want to do those things. You don't want to just stop and not do it. You want to do those things as a mother.
Right.
Yeah. Boys are definitely hard when it comes to doing chores, because, you know, they like to sit on their games all day. And far as hygiene and things like that, you know, girls are, you know, they got to be prissy and pretty all the time. Oh, you know, God, so that could be the only thing different.
Hey, Kingston.
Hey.
Can we see you? Hi. Your first podcast, have you on video? Oh, you got the Tigger. Not the funny story, really quick. Funny story. So Kendra, in high school, she loves Tigger. She got the Tigger tatted on him. So to see that, I'm like, what? I didn't see it from because she had him turned around. Got the Tigger shirt. That is so cute.
Baby, the baby.
Hey.
Say hey.
Be like, look, I'm
So cute and handsome.
mhm. Yeah. So yeah, that's the biggest thing. Like, you know, when it, especially when it comes to boys, you know, teenagers, it's a lot. But truth of the matter, I'd rather have my son play a video game 24/7 than to have him out on the streets. He can play
Yeah.
the game. You know, I don't
Yeah.
have it where
No.
he like, you
Mm-mm.
know, I do get on him because I'm like, man, you playing the game every day. But then when I take a step back, I'm like, it's teenagers that's not even making it to 18, their 18th birthday, because they either involved in gangs, doing some crazy stuff, getting killed. So I'd rather have my son under my care playing the game 24/7 as long as I can monitor him. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it's a, and that's my part, like kind of on motherhood with raising teens. It's like it's so much, you know, you got to deal with social media, cyberbullying, grades, puberty. It's so much things that I have to deal with. And people may think, oh, because they're older, it gets harder the older they get, because you know you got the prices increasing. You got to talk, like I said, you got to talk about puberty,
Exactly.
what not to do, what to do. So it
Right.
gets challenging with the older that they get, you know, because it's like we are in a different era. I just can't have my son. I can't just have my son be black. You know what I mean? His target is his skin color. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I have to be cognizant on him doing things when I'm asking, like, hey, if you going out, you know, you got to be careful. But you know, luckily
Right.
my son is homeschooled, so he doesn't go out. He's in the house majority of the time, unless he's going with, you know, me and friends. He's home. But you know, you guys are gonna definitely, when these teenagers come, ooh, you know, mm, and
And I
you
think
gotta continue to keep praying. Say it again.
I'm glad I have a boy, because growing up, I was up under my mama 20, but somewhere down the line I became a tomboy.
Yep.
Two older brothers, and that's all I knew. So
Mhm.
me having a girl doing the hair, all of that would have been just crazy. Because
Right.
without my hair being done, no earrings, I'd rather put on sneakers than heels,
Yeah.
things like that.
Mhm.
But like Ashley said, though, that fear of him growing up and being out in this crazy world is, I'd rather have him here too, playing a game, watching TV, whatever. He's in the house. If he's in the house with me, or you know, a family member, a trusted family member,
Right.
fine. Than
Right.
being out in the crazy streets.
But do we even? That's a good thing. But do we even have trusted family members anymore? I'm just saying.
It may be
Mine only go to
certain
certain
individuals.
people. He goes to same as same with flying since he's been 3 months. And my mom has kept him, and my mom's sister, my auntie Ted has kept him for, you know, like a month or so, whatever. But anybody, or if my sisters would ask, hey, that's it. Nope, there's nobody else. I have my auntie Sandra here, who, if, you know, I go out of town, he'll go over there, but I stay with who? No.
Right.
No, I don't even like sending them to the babysitter. I mean, you could do your research, but still, you know.
Right.
So that's it. That's all he go to.
I haven't really experienced having a stuff for once when I went to my first postpartum appointment, and like Toya said, you ready to get back home to your child? So that I went, you know, to my appointment. It was in and out. They checked the C-section. I went right
Right.
and to the stage. So you didn't have to, but my mom, and my cousin Jennifer. My top 3 as of now as family. Anybody else? I don't know yet, but I don't think it will be anybody else.
Right. Yeah, because the people they weird. People are really crazy. Like they do stupid stuff. It's crazy. I'm so glad that God blessed me with kind of have to read people, because I see a person, I just be like, no, something just don't sit right with that person. It just be, yeah. And the sad is like that, because you can't even take your kids. You can't even do a whole 8 hours at work because you don't really want to leave your kids anymore, because you can't trust them.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you can't trust them, and it's so sad. It's crazy. And that's why a lot of people are now, like Kendra said, are now looking for at-home jobs to be at home with their kids, because truth of the matter, we don't know if we know that another pandemic is coming, but we don't know when. So now it's like you set yourself up for that anyway, because you don't ever know when that pandemic is going to come, and you gotta be exposed to COVID, and you got a newborn, you got to come home, you don't know what, all is contracting.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful about that.
Even go back to work next month, I'm going to still be looking for an at-home job.
Right.
I kind of failed at that for myself, applying, because my all on him, but I need to get on it, because I'm not ready to go back to work and having to
have to leave him for so long. Yeah. Because your focus point gonna be like thinking about him 24/7. Yeah.
I be needing a break sometimes because this baby is abusive. I be like, okay, I can go to work because I need to get rid of him because this baby is abusive.
Yeah, but
oh my gosh,
we had a really great discussion. I mean, I think we probably had like an hour and about 40 minutes, but we still had a good discussion. We can still ask some more questions. I'm all open, but let me know.
he is getting restless, so
yeah. Okay. So
I think it's time for his nap again, because it's about to be 6 o'clock.
about to be 6 o'clock. So, well, with that being said, we are going to wrap everything up now. I want to give a special thank you for Kenny V and Kingston, my handsome godson, coming on the show today. We highly appreciate it. You heard her, she dropped the jewels about motherhood. We all, came behind her and follow up. So if you guys get a chance, check us out at empowerment_reckless podcast on IG. We also got a YouTube link. We're going to drop that as well. But again, thanks you guys for joining us again for episode 5. And we'll be back again tomorrow with our special guest, Brittany Tom. You guys have a great evening and stay blessed.
Woohoo! Welcome to Motherhood, Kendra.